So we have a pretty big problem here in the United States, and the United States could potentially be in serious trouble because we are looking at Canada as our rescuer. And Canada says they just can't do it. So I'm going to address what's going on here. This is going to be a problem for the next probably 3 to 4 months. So I want to address what's happening, what you can expect, especially moving forward in 2024. All I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So first off, what is the major problem and what is the United States turning to Canada for? Well, it's simple. Right now, the United States is experiencing COVID, flu, RSV, and many other respiratory illnesses all at the same time. Now, obviously, this is somewhat concerning because as we start to get a cough, we get a fever, we get chills, we get the symptoms of whether it's a cold, a flu, or RSV, doesn't matter. Because the problem is we need medication or we need to go to a hospital. Right now, we're seeing cases all over and they are extremely high. These include places like Florida, for one. It says flu cases are high in Florida. These are the counties with reported outbreaks. Now, we're not going to go through all the different counties, but just understand there is a lot of them. But it doesn't stop there. Flu cases and hospitalizations continue to rise in Georgia as well. Again, major problems. We are seeing this all over the place. This is nothing new. Look at this. This is in Ohio. Flu activity very high right now at local hospitals and statewide. That's in Ohio. What we know is that at this time, we continue to see the numbers surge. It says right here, with COVID and flu surging at the same time, how big is the risk of co-infection? Now, I want to address this, but first, I want to tell you the real reason why we're concerned with this. It's not because we think our bodies can't endure this again, right? COVID and flu. Many people have had COVID, many people have had the flu, but have they had them at the same time? Well, the answer is it's very rare. It's very rare to get COVID and the flu at the same time. Can it happen? Yes. But does it really impact your body that much more? Well, it's not twice as bad. That's the good thing. According to experts, it's not twice as bad. You may feel a little bit different because, yes, you may have COVID and you may have those symptoms, but when it comes to the flu, you may have 1 or 2 of those as well. So yes, it does make it a little bit worse, but it's not twice as bad. Now, I do want to read you a few things really quick, okay? Here's one of them. It says COVID-related hospitalizations are up 20% in the most recent week, according to the CDC. Now, whether you like the CDC or not, doesn't matter. Just take them out of the picture. What you need to understand is that hospitalizations are up, okay? The reason why this is such a big deal is not because of the COVID cases. Yes, it's important, but it's because of the other cases. If somebody's in the hospital taking up a bed because of COVID, well, what if somebody else needs to come in because of a car accident? They need to come in because of just some other surgery. Maybe it's an emergency surgery, not an elective one. Well, they may need to get in quickly. So taking up a bed can be troubling. And if we get more and more people in a hospital because of COVID, because of RSV, because of the flu, well, it means that there's less beds available for other needs. That's part of the concern. The other one is it comes down to the medicine that we have. Okay? Right now, and this is a big, big issue, is what's happening is we are seeing medications in short supply. Just look at this. This is from the United States Food and Drug Administration. Okay? These are just the drug shortages. Okay? I'm not going to show you all of them, but just look at this list. Okay? And you see on the right side, currently in shortage. Okay? I can keep going down this list. I can keep going. Okay? This is just page 1. Right? Page 1. Now, the problem with this is going to turn into an even bigger issue, and this is where the United States is turning to Canada. Look at this story. This came out just this past week. It says move to allow Canadian drugs to be imported by U.S. creates shortage fears. Now, keep in mind, this is from the Canadian press. This is the Canada version, okay? And the reason why I bring this up is because what they're saying in here is reflecting the concerns from Canada, right? So let's read a little bit of this article so that you can see what I'm talking about. Look at this. It says a major shift in U.S. policy about buying medication from Canada has caused fears north of the border about a potential supply crunch. Those fears are unlikely to be realized anytime soon, if at all, given Health Canada's existing export rules designed to prevent drug shortages, experts said in a response to the news Friday. So, right there, one of the things that the Health Canada's their rules say they are trying to prevent drug shortages. So they're not going to send the United States all the medication that they have and then they got nothing. They're not going to do that. But the United States would buy it all up. Look at this. It says the U.S. Food and Drug Administration agreed to allow Florida to import millions of dollars worth of pharmaceuticals from Canadian wholesalers as a way to avoid the high cost of drugs in that country, which is the United States. It says the decision prompted immediate concerns within Canada's pharmacy sector about the impact on supplies here. It says the population of Florida is more than half the number of people who live in all of Canada. And beyond Florida, other American states are eyeing similar requests to the FDA to address the cost of drugs. So it's not just Florida that's trying to import pharmaceuticals from Canada to their state. Many states are attempting to do the same thing. Florida did get approval, but Canada's not going to send them everything that they need. So what you should expect, there will be shortages because guess what? The only reason why these states are going to Canada, number one, it's because it's cheaper. No, the products are just as inexpensive here in the United States, but once they go through the manufacturing and they go through the company, because pharmaceutical companies want to make a lot of money, well, they really push the price up. In some medications, they're charging 1,000% of what they cost to make. That's what they're charging for you to buy it. It's insane. But in Canada, they don't really do that. So that's why these states are trying to go to Canada. And if states are allowed to go to Canada, guess what? Now these companies here in the United States are going to have to lower their prices. As they lower their prices, the problem though is we are likely to see an even greater shortage because now people can afford this medication and now they're more likely to buy it. So just understand, we are looking at Canada to fix this problem and kind of come to the rescue of the United States, but at the same time, it's not all because of the flu and COVID and RSV. There's many other illnesses as well, not just respiratory. Many other illnesses that the United States is going to look at Canada for. So just keep that in mind, that you may see more medication, you may see it become less expensive, but as it does, experts also warn, as it becomes less expensive, more people are going to use it. Case in point, look at fuel prices. As it comes down, more people decide to take trips and travel, and there's more usage. So that's where we're at this time. But just wanted to fill you in on what's going on here because I know a lot of people are concerned with what is the United States going to do if we do see cases of COVID, the flu, and RSV really increase over the next couple of months. Well, we're going to just deal with it. Potentially, like we've been doing over the past couple of months, the majority of Americans, all we do is we go to Walgreens and Rite Aid and all these other pharmacies, pick up over-the-counter medication there instead of a prescription, and we just try to solve it ourselves. Simple. And that's probably what we're going to continue to do, as long as there's not a big shortage. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.